You guys, welcome back to the Secret Garden Homestead. Today I'm going to give you a May orchard tour, and behind me this is our citrus grove. It has pretty much nothing going on. All the trees did flower, and there's a lot of fruit on the trees, but with citrus trees they tend to drop a lot of their fruit in June as they're kind of selecting which fruit they want to keep to hold on to come to maturity. I'll give you guys a few glimpses of what we've got going on there, but I really want to head to our back field where we have our orchard. Now, if you're new to this channel, our orchard has probably right now about 30 trees, and it's a year 2 orchard, so it's still pretty young. Some of our trees we bought older than other trees, so we do have some pretty cool things happening out here. Okay, so I thought it'd be really fun to show you guys our newest addition to the homestead, and that is our new bacon avocado tree. And here she is. I still need to paint her white. In fact, that's probably something that I'll do tomorrow. We planted her about a couple days ago, actually. An interesting fact about bacon avocado trees is that they're self-fertile. So for most avocado trees, you actually need two different types of varieties, one male, one female, or type A, type B, in order to get fruit. But the bacon is actually a type B that is self-fertile here, so it actually already has avocados on it. I don't know much about this variety in particular, but I'm hoping that it holds on to the majority of the fruit on it, because it looks to have, I don't know, 30 or 40 fruit on it. I know you should probably take fruit off the first year, but given that this tree was so mature, I'm just going to let it fruit and do its thing and see how it goes this year. Next to our bacon avocado tree, we actually have a Haas, and this is a type A. So these two trees here, this one and that one, should pollinate each other, and I think we planted our bacon a little bit too late, because I'm pretty sure the flowers are done on this tree, but they're still opening on this tree, so I don't think we're going to get any fruit on this tree. That's totally fine. But as you can see, the tree is pumping out new growth, and so that's really good. I've been kind of waiting for new leaves to come on this tree because we've had some pretty bad winds and it's kind of blown off all the old leaves, so we're in desperate need of some new leaves on this naked tree. We have 2 other avocado trees, and nothing really exciting is happening there either. I think I am going to add another application of that Ivy Organics white paint on the trees, and so that's probably something I'll do this weekend, because today it was like 95 degrees and there's not a cloud in the sky, and so I know these trees are going to start getting sunburned, and I want to protect them as best as I possibly can. These 2 trees over here are actually the same. They're Santa Rosa plum trees, and they're about the same age. This one actually blossomed and then had some fruit, but I think all the fruit fell off in the windstorm. I don't think that this tree could support the 3 fruits that were on it. But this one over here actually has fruit that's still on it, and I wanted to show it off. If you followed my channel long enough, you know that a Santa Rosa plum is one of my favorite fruits. So it's just really exciting to see that this is producing already. This is year 2 in the ground, and this tree is so lush and overgrown. I think there's a few more in here. I don't know if I can find them. But I had done a really bad job of pruning these trees, and they're finally growing so much this season, so I'm going to let them grow out as much as they want. I'm not going to do any summer pruning, and then when they go bare in the fall, I will go ahead and shape them the way I want them. But for now, I think I over pruned last year, and so I'm just going to give these trees a chance to stretch out and grow, and then in the winter I'll kind of fix some of the issues I see with how the tree grew over the growing season. Okay, next here I have a Japanese plum, and this tree is probably 3 or 4 years old. I bought this one a little more mature from our local nursery, and it does have fruit on it. So you can see there's a cluster here, and then there's a few more that are kind of intermingled in the tree. I have no idea what this tree's fruit tastes like, but I'm really excited to have a different type of plum here. So I'm hoping that we get a chance to harvest these before any critters get to them. Something so fun over here, we have our pomegranate tree, and I'm trying to get it to grow really big and more like a tree and less like a shrub. If you don't have a pomegranate tree, down below you might think those are suckers. I guess they are. Pomegranates are technically like a bush type of tree, and you can grow them as kind of a bush, or you can prune them so that they look more like a tree. I kind of prefer the look of a tree, and so I will probably take down those suckers. But this tree has just exploded this year. This is a tree that came with our property, and it produced 7 pomegranates for us last year. And once we got a flower, we didn't lose any flowers that I know of. And so just looking at the amount of flowers on this tree right now, I am thinking that we're gonna end up with so many pomegranates, which is awesome. Look at all these flowers. I believe this variety is a Chinese pomegranate, and the reason I think that is because our neighbor has one that's similar. It's not quite as red as the wonderful pomegranate that most growers grow here in California, so I'm pretty sure this is the Chinese pomegranate. And then next to it we planted the wonderful pomegranate, so these get really big, nice and red. I'm really excited for this tree. Usually pomegranates grow really fast, so even though this was a stick in the ground when we planted it in winter, I think it's only going to be 2 or 3 years before we start getting some sizable fruits on it. Okay, one cool thing that happened this year was last year I had 2 garden beds, and all I did with them was I planted pumpkins in them. And I had 2 pumpkins come to fruition. I don't know what varieties they were, maybe sugar pie or like a jack-o'-lantern type pumpkin. And I let them rot on the plant because I think an animal had gotten to them. They got mixed in when we did our Back to Eden orchard method on the orchard, and there are pumpkin vines all over the orchard. So I am hopeful that we get a lot of pumpkins this year. Last year my vines were so pitiful when I tried to grow them, but when nature tries to do it, they look amazing. I think I have about 10 to 12 different plants in here, and I'm hoping one of these guys is actually a butternut squash, but who knows. And I planted a lot of seeds that didn't germinate, so I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna end up with, but they're everywhere. Right there, right here, over here, and then some over there. So when I saw them pop up for the first time and I was weeding the orchard, I thought to myself, I have to pull them. But then, because our trees aren't mature, they're gonna get full sun. I don't have to worry about it. So I think for the time being, actually planting pumpkins in here is a pretty good idea. I know they take a lot of nitrogen, but at the same time, because I don't have raised beds, it's the perfect place to plant them, and they tend to like to grow in the May-June time frame. Typically I wouldn't plant my pumpkins if I was going to be planting them, let's say for Halloween. I wouldn't plant them till June, and that's fine here in California because our growing season is so long. But I've had my pumpkins store a good 2-3 months, so even these pumpkins that are growing and probably will be mature starting the end of June, early July, I could probably save them and have them for Halloween. No problem if I cool them in a dry and cool enough space. And while the pumpkins are really cool, my most favorite part of the orchard are my peach trees. Okay, I have 6 peach trees planted. These 2 are Eva's Pride peaches, and I bought them really young. Peaches grow pretty fast, so I might get 1 peach off of this tree next year. We'll see. I bought these 2 a little bit more mature. These are mid-pride peaches. And then back here I have Elberta Peaches. So I have one and then two. And again, I bought these much more mature. Okay, so I had to net my peach trees, and I was really bummed about that because I didn't think I'd have to net them until closer to like June. I wanted to give the tree a chance to breathe and grow, but I'm getting squirrels biting and like chewing away at the unripe peaches already. They're like this big and they're already getting eaten, and I can tell because they'll just take a couple nibbles and then it'll be gone. And I don't know if they're rats or mice or squirrels, so I decided to net them, and I think that's helped. So I'm gonna try and salvage as many peaches from this tree as possible. Probably only have 10 or so, but that's still pretty good. And this only happened to my mid-pride peaches. So I don't know whether this tree, and it only happened to this tree. I netted the other tree as well because I just suspected it would happen, but none of the peaches look to be eaten on this tree. This tree is pretty loaded with Elberta peaches. Like, look at the size of these peaches. They are beautiful, and I think they ripen like mid-July, so we still have a ways to go. I did go ahead and thin a lot of this fruit. I probably thinned over half of what this tree actually would have done, and it's still a pretty young tree, so I didn't want to overwhelm it. But yeah, this tree is definitely loaded. It probably has 20 or 30 peaches on it. And then this one over here is also super loaded. Just like everywhere you look, there's peaches. I guess my philosophy is this, that as soon as the trees are big enough and giving me enough fruit, I really don't mind sharing to the critters. I do plan on getting a dog at some point, and I think that will be a deterrent for a lot of the pests that we're getting. Maybe not birds, but definitely rats and squirrels and things like that. So I'm not super worried about it, but this year I'm going to be greedy. I want a lot of the peaches that come off the tree because I haven't really been able to get a tree ripened peach yet. I tried last year. I went to a local farmer and went peach picking. I was there the weekend that it opened, but honestly they weren't quite ripe yet, and they were really good, but they were not like at their prime. So I want to take these peaches to their prime, and I really want to experience what it's like to pick a peach from my backyard. So I really want to get rid of the squirrel problem, so I'll probably be netting those trees because I know if it's not going to be the squirrels, it's going to be the birds. And then over here I have my strawberry tower. I have another one, but it's in the front of the house. I took it out of the orchard, and this tower, I don't want to take off the net entirely, but this tower is starting to get absolutely loaded with red strawberries, which is awesome. I've been fertilizing it every 2 weeks, and I water about twice a week as well, and it's looking really, really good, so I'm excited. This tower is a mixture of everbearing and June-bearing varieties, so I expect that I'm going to get more fruit in June than I am in May, but I think tomorrow I have at least a pint to harvest, and then I expect it to ramp up from there, so it's super, super exciting. I had to tent this too, because I had one strawberry ripen on me, and then I went out to pick it and it was gone, and I could see that the animals had gotten to it as well. So I don't want to be competing with the animals for strawberries, so I decided to tent those as well. I have a couple new additions to the orchard, I think. I'm not sure if these were in for the April garden tour or if I showed them off, so I thought I would show them off. But I have planted 3 cherries. 2 of them are the Lappin's variety, and the other one is a Bing cherry. They did not fruit for me this year. They're all really small. All the way in this back corner, I have itty bitty little sticks that I purchased, and this is a Snow Queen nectarine, so it's definitely going to take some time to grow up. And then over here I have a Fantasia nectarine, which will also take some time to grow up. And then the only other thing that we have here in the orchard right now is our apples, and let's see if any of them are blooming. Oh, our apples and pears. So right here I have an Anna apple, and it did not bloom. This is again one of those trees that I over pruned, and it almost looks like a vertical shrub, but it's not. It should definitely be fuller than this. So I'm gonna let that grow out as much as possible. I didn't get any blossoms on that this year. Here, again, I over pruned this tree, so I'm gonna let it grow out. This is a D'Anjou pear, and it didn't put on any blossoms as well. And then I have a Bartlett pear, which did put on a bunch of blossoms, but it got totally eaten away by aphids, and the pears just didn't make it. I think all of them fell off. And again, these are pretty young trees, so I'm not suspecting we're gonna get fruit from them this year. Maybe next year, but probably not. That one right there is a Gala apple. That one's pretty new. We have our Granny Smith apples right here, our Fuji apples here. I don't know. Let's go hunting to see if there's any fruit. I know that these trees did blossom, but I don't know if any fruit held. Okay, this is my Empire apple, and I'm so glad. I tried to prune this tree last year because this tree is leaning this way, and I want it to go more this way. And it looks like this little branch is coming through for me, which is awesome. You can see that this tree did in fact bloom, but I don't know if it's going to keep any of the apples. We shall see. So I'm not expecting any apples this year. Okay, so that pretty much sums up the orchard tour for this month. To me, it's really exciting because last year we literally got like no fruit. Maybe a couple pomegranates, but that was it. And this year, I probably have one more orchard tour in June, and then starting end of June, early July, I think that I can start harvesting some of our peaches and plums. And then probably late July, early August, I'll start getting at those pumpkins. So to me, that's all really, really exciting. I have a little spreadsheet of all the trees that we have and how much they produce for us. We definitely get a lot more citrus than we do from our backyard orchard because our citrus grove is a little bit more mature. But every tree, I have a spot on my spreadsheet and how much fruit they produced. And so even though it's probably going to be negligible in the big scheme of things, I am just so excited to finally put some numbers on the board. And yeah, and then there's just hope for next year, like what's going to come next. So I really enjoy doing these orchard tours because I can kind of see where we came from, and I bet next year, Lord willing, we'll have a lot more fruit, and that will be so awesome. So I really appreciate you guys taking the time to walk through my orchard with me. I will put one up for June again, and then maybe we'll get to some harvesting together. So I will see you guys on the next video.